What is up, nerds? My name is Jeremy Akers, Jeremy Nathaniel Akers, and I want to talk to you a little bit more about what I need from you. It came to my attention that the last video I uploaded on what I need from you, I apparently got cut off. And so I'm going to finish my rant about what I need from you and hopefully help you understand why you need what I need from you. So, what I need from you, like I said, helps us to ritualize conflict. It helps us to go through this really artificial song and dance where we bring together representatives of different groups to exchange requests and to answer requests in this very, unnatural way, which helps us to, again, have this manage the interaction around a what can be pretty tricky subject matter. And the reason I think the subject matter of what I need from you really ultimately has to do with boundaries. What I need from you helps us to play around with boundaries. I think boundaries are, like I said, world-class level humaning. I think that's where all the interesting sort of juice is in life. And I think that's also where all the problems are. And I was talking to a dear friend this weekend, and in that conversation, I finally understood the profound nature of a metaphor that Ed Morrison, the writer of the book Strategic Doing, and the whatever nerds, great book, by the way, great community as well. Shout outs to Ed. Ed talks about this example. He says, for every problem, there exists a solution approximately equivalent to putting the shower curtain inside the bathtub. So again, for every problem, there is a solution that is about putting the shower curtain inside the bathtub. And I think, this is a great example, and I think this is so profound because it is exactly about the boundary. Hey, look, there is something that is important, that is significant, that has consequences, right? That has consequences, has entropy associated with it, right? The water flows downhill. And because it matters, there's a whole lot of feels about it. There's a whole lot riding on it. It's important, and things that are important tend to have strong feelings associated with it. But it's about navigating the relationship. It's about navigating the relationship between these things, and by getting boundaries right. You don't get the boundary right, you put the shower curtain outside of the bathtub, and you got a fucking mess. You're going to have to clean that shit up. And guess what? It's going to keep making a mess until you turn the whole damn thing off, right? You might not have the ability to do that in your context, to pull the and-on cord and bring everything to a grinding halt. So get the boundary right, get the shower curtain inside the bathtub, and around this important thing that we feel very strongly about, that we have strong reactions with regards to, we can get our relationship right and sort the whole damn thing out in the first place. So what I need from you helps us play with that boundary space by the making of explicit requests. As we make a request explicit, we are creating a boundary out there. We're saying, hey, this is what we want. This is the range of possibilities that we're open to hearing responses to, and we're going to get confronted with one of those realities. And even when that reality, like I said, is something we do want, we have some work to do. There's coordination required. Specification, right? There's interaction. Oh, shit. If I'm going to get what I need, yay, awesome. I better show up to make sure I'm actually getting what I actually need. So what are some of the potential applications, specifics? I I love the game. This is where I'm the nerdiest, so fucking deal with it. But to get a little bit more tangible, what I need from you, like most liberating structures, works in a scale invariant fashion. That means it works at this small scale of individuals and of small groups. So this is what I need from you. While we conceive of it as this, go get this request and go back to your group, that group can also be just you, right? You can go get your request and give your requests to these other nerds and go back and consider your response to their requests and come back and give it to them. So you can totally do this in the scope of a team. You could do this for every role in your team, right? All of these roles, these functional roles, if I've got designers, business analysts, developers, testers, et ceteras, I can put down all these roles and we can come together as these functional roles. We can give our expectations, our desires to one another. And that can help actually in a participatory fashion. So rather than thinking about roles and responsibilities from this, well, let me sit down and let's write out my roles and responsibilities, we can actually just really quickly, in the course of an hour, you can nail every role and get a baseline responsibility set for everybody on the team. It's amazing. You can also use this for feedback in the context of a team, right? What I need from you might be to tighten some shit up, right? The requests that we get are based very much in the here and now and informed by our experiences with one another. So I think what I need from you is a better form of feedback than simple, hey, this is what this is what I've observed in your work. This is why, I think it matters, and this is what I think you should do about it. What, so what, now what? It's great for feedback, by the way, if you're into that sort of thing. But I think what I need from you gets to the important part, which is the action. That's get the action right, man. I feel so much better about the feedback. Right? If we get the actions down. And so by articulating those things, we can do well. Of course, we can also use this for, again, scale and variance. So we can think about this in larger contexts when we're talking about the coordination across teams. If you are familiar with the agile Frankenstein that is safe, and you've ever participated in an increment planning, then that mapping dependencies is kind of a thing that happens there. What I need from you is an excellent structure to help you map those dependencies. Don't make too many requests from any goddamn buddy. And if you get your artifacts right, so I said what I need from you is kind of a perfect liberating structure because it's both an interaction pattern that's going back and forth from representatives to subgroups. As well as in line of inquiry, what I need from you. That's a very, very, very straightforward direction. And it also can help us by creating artifacts. So if you get your post system down, this is why I suggest index cards rather than post-it notes or even lists. Index cards are a physical artifact that represents your dependency map. So if you think about coordinating within or across departments, hey, these cards, these requests that we're making, those are our dependencies. That's one of those lines of threads. If you're into that nightmarish type of shit, so that's another potential application. I want to talk about a little bit of a different way. So we can also think about this from more of a representative governance-y space as well. If there is, a range, a topic on the table, we can arrange ourselves into subgroups related to that topic, and then we can make requests of one another about what we need, what we think is important and takes consideration. What's cool about this move is that it's also interesting to do if you ask. It can also be a power play from empathy, right? I can think about stepping into let me try and give a very specific example. So the first time I did What I Need From You, and this is actually an interesting story. It was in the Liberating Structures Go Online user group. Shout out to Nicole and all of those nerds. Oh my God, so many nerds in LS Go Online. The first time I used What I Need From You, we were considering hybrid work, right? And so hybrid gives us these three subgroups, right? It gives us the subgroup of people who like to be in the office. It gives us the subgroup of people who like to be online, and it gives us the subgroup of flexibility as well. So we took people and we said, hey, these are going to be our subgroups. What we're going to do is we're going to consider from the role of these three subgroups what we need from each other subgroup in the context of sort of going back to the office. This is a post-COVID thing, blah, blah, blah. So even though we didn't have a shared context, we sort of created a hypothetical and then jumped us into these subgroups. What was cool about that move is that there's an empathetic move, is that, of course, you can invite people to go participate in the subgroup that they vibe the most with. Oh, I'm a person who loves going into the office and talking to everybody at the water cooler, so I want to see all my friends at the office. So I'm going to go step into that subgroup. But we can also put people's participation in these subgroups arbitrarily and just say, all right, every third person goes into this subgroup. Use the random option in Zoom, right? By doing that, we're sort of forcing a perspective that is, okay, just inhabit this subgroup. Whether you're a person who never wants to go into the office or not, take on the perspective of someone who doesn't ever want to go to the office and make a request. Think from their perspective about what they're going to need from these other two subgroups to help them survive that experience. I think that's cool. I think that that stepping into that is more than much cooler than even a role play. And no offense to improv prototyping, there's something cool about thinking about the needs of someone whom I'm not necessarily or not generally. It's a real good, like I said, it's just a powerful empathy move. Anyway. What's interesting about this situation, the first time we did this, I did What I Need From You. I was working with Don Phillips. Shout out to Don in Canada, I think. We hosted this session, and we thought it was clear. But when we came back to collect the request or exchange requests, the requests that we got, there were so many of them that were just total trash tier requests, just garbage requests. A request that is not a clear, this is what I need from you, but is more of a rant, right? That is just like, I'm going to rant at you, and there might be a question hidden in there if you dig and find it. And I was just mortified at the time of this session, right? We organized this meetup. We're going to use this structure in order to better understand it in our work with our clients. And I just felt like we were crashing. Bad requests. Because bad requests are they're your request. Your response is only going to be as good as your request, right? It's only going to be as valuable as your request. And when you make vague requests, you can very much expect vague responses, which is not particularly useful. It doesn't help us get anywhere. And I really wanted to step in and go, maybe you nerds didn't understand what the exercise was. Like, my bad there. But we need clear requests, like things that you can say yes or no to, right? Because that's the move. But Don stepped in and he said, thank you guys so much. Awesome. Great. You nerds go off and go consider the requests that you have received and your responses from your relative subgroups, right? Just sends them off back in the breakout room. And I'm like, Don, what are we going to do? This is horrible. This is a shit show. We're like, we're not going to get yeses or nos. We're not going to get clear answers. Because to me, in my mind, one of the beauties of what I need from you is the ability to get a clear and unambiguous response to a clear request. And Don was just, totally chill. He was just like, hey, man, so what? The requests are unclear. Then you're going to get the response that an unclear request gets. And that's just feedback. We've got, if we consider it, our feedback cycle is so much tighter here, actually, by making this trash tier request. We're going to get, I don't know, as a response. And great. That's what you get. You get into the thing what you put into it. So the clearer your request, the more value you can get out of it. Yes, we can tell nerds that until we're purple in the face. But the best way to learn that, of course, is through our own experience. So, let's just let us leave nerds to consider and ask for whatever in God's name they want. Use that forum as they see fit. And hopefully they learn to take it as seriously as they can and generate as much value with it as they can. And that's a learning process. What's most valuable is, of course, a question of values. And I think what I need from you, by focusing on that need, is going to help us get more attention on what we value. And I think that's pretty damn important. So, my bad, nerds, for cutting you off last time I was talking about what I need from you. I hope this supplement is entertaining, interesting, thought-provoking, insightful, and whatever, man. I don't know. I made it, so here you go. I'm just trying to get it out there. My name's Jeremy Nathaniel Akers. Thank you very much for your time, attention, and energy, and I hope to God you're listening to this on 2x speed.